everybody. This is Palace of Forest. I am Old June. Today we are talking about the ASEAN 10 plus 6. What is ASEAN? ASEAN. ASEAN is officially an abbreviation of Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It's a political and economic union of 10 countries in the Southeast Asia. It has been a population of over 600 million and covers an area of 4.5 million kilometers. It's a huge area. It's going to be next 20 to 50 years most important economic area. So ASEAN plus 6 countries. So this is what we call China South nations. China South nations has a peninsula. It covers Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, and Burma. And then there's some island countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Poland, Philippines. There are many islands, like Indonesia has 18,000 islands, but many of them have no people live. And Singapore has 7,800 islands. Those are huge area, cover a lot of oceans, a lot of minerals, a lot of tin, oil. So very rich area. So what happened to this area? How could it become so important? They are very close with China because of the China South Ocean. And in ancient China, they already have a lot of connection with them, particularly Vietnam. In Qin Dynasty, they conquered this area and set up some administration office there. But Qin, the first emperor, was a short emperor. After that, Vietnam became independent and then don't want to obey any order from China. Until the Han Dynasty, the Han Wudi, the very powerful emperor, he sent a general to this area and conquered and make some administration office there. When the Chinese government weak, they become independent nations. Whenever Chinese is strong, and they become a subordinate. What they do is they just say, you are my emperor, and then every year bring some gifts, some native gifts. That's about it. So they are in and out N+1 times. Has never been a big issue. Until Ming Dynasty, they send a big troop, which is Navy, by Zheng He, 7 times sailing all the way to East Africa. And that is a big era. And the boat was so huge, it's almost a double, triple of Columbus ship. But the point is, after that period of time, China totally not sailing to the ocean. And that was 1405 to 1433, when Zheng He's Navy went all the way to East Africa. Later on, 1492, that was Columbus discovery the whole world, geographic discovery, big discovery. And China even prohibit sailing in the open sea. Totally missed this period of time. It's a pity. Okay, we're back to ASEAN 10. They are Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, Burma, Malaysia, Philippines, Indonesia, and Penang. Penang is a very interesting country. I'd like you to take a look. It's very, very small. It's in the island, but they're very rich, has a lot of oil, and then they have a king. So when the big Western power comes in the 16th century, 17th century, they totally occupied this area and colonized it. First of all, French and the British fight like a dog and cat in Vietnam, Laos, Thailand, Burma, and Cambodia. And finally, French took Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos, and British took Burma, and leave Thailand to be a neutral country. But in the South China Sea, the Indonesia was occupied by Dutch, by Germans, and by Portuguese. That's an early stage. When the British come, fighting like a dog and cat in there, until 1824, they signed a treaty, the British territory, plus Brunei. And Indonesia belongs to Dutch. The Philippines, in 1898, the Spanish lost the war, so USA took a Philippine colony. So the whole area became colonized. During Second World War, some areas occupied by Japanese. After war, they gained their independence again, but Vietnam doesn't like to be reoccupied by French, so they fight against it. And US joined that and then got a Vietnam War. So if you remember that history. After that, this whole area has a better economic development and a better political stability. So it has been developed very, very rapidly, become a new rich area. So, question, who is the one has the most invest money in this area? I thought it was China. Not true. Invest money the most is USA. Second is European Union. Third is China. But for the foreign trade, import, export, China is number one. There's no question about it. Also, China is interested to build a pan-Asia railroad network, which has a 4 routes: the center, the east, the west, and all the way to the south. That means the east is from China to Vietnam and to Bangkok. The center is from Laos to Bangkok. The west is from Burma to Bangkok. And finally, the south is Bangkok to Singapore, to Malaysia. And then from there, they will go to Indonesia and then become a whole network. They think by maybe 2050, if everything goes well, they will finish this network. And that will become a very major economy area, no question about it. Then you will ask, what is plus 6? ASEAN plus 1 plus 6. Plus 1 is China. Plus 6 is China, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and India. If that become a bloc, that's really a predominant economic country and areas in the world. Well, so I was in Bangkok maybe 20 or 30 years ago. I have a good friend in Singapore. He called me. He said, hey, come to visit me. I said, but I'm in Bangkok. He said, no problem, take a flight. I said, no, I don't want to take a flight. I want to take a route. Do you have a highway? Can drive all the way through the peninsula, all the way from Bangkok to Singapore, if you take a look on the map. He said, do you have a machine gun? I said, why? He said, that route has so many robberies, kidnap, everything. I don't want you lose your life in there. But now China is going to build this is a Pan-Asian Railroad, is from Bangkok to Singapore. So I hope they can finish that route, and I think it's a very beautiful route. So anyway, there's a meeting is going to be in September 5th to 7th. There's their annual meeting, the ASEAN 10 annual meeting. They have a big issue to pass. It's called Code of Conduct for Parties in the South China Sea. They have to pass that. I think a majority of countries already passed, but finally left for Vietnam and the Philippines to sign, something like that. That is the one probably will bring the peace in the South China Sea. We really hope big country rise with peace as their center idea, then they will bring the peace to this area, to bring prosperity and a good life to all the people. I hope you like my show. This is it. Thank you.